Assalamu alaikum. A very interesting question came from you guys as we are covering the pre-Islamic Arabian history. That what did pre-Islamic Arabia look like? And in that regard, we're talking about the different tribes. So the suggestion that came was, is it possible to show us that a map on which we can see which tribes were located in which region of Arabian Peninsula? And then maybe if you can show us a map of the existing Arabia where you can see how the countries are now, and then we will be able to see which tribes are in which regions considering today's countries. So that's exactly what's the point of today's video. It probably will be short, may not be as detail oriented. We will not be talking about any stories, but rather we'll be showing you a map so that you can see the pre-Islamic Arabia and where things were. And as I told you guys before, that some of the Arab tribes are the descendants of Adnan. And most of those tribes are either in the central Arabia or maybe a little bit towards North Arabia. And down below in the south are the Qahtani Arab or Banu Qahtan or their offshoots. Now also remember, over the period of time, Banu Qahtan, which were in the Yemen region, have traveled in different directions. For example, some of them went as far as Bahrain but couldn't settle, so came back and settled back in Hadramaut. And some of them have traveled up north as far as Iraq on the eastern side and up very close to Syria on the western side of Arabian Peninsula. Some of them traveled and settled somewhere on the western side of Arabia along the coastal line, either closer to Makkah like Banu Khuza'a or Banu Jurhum, who went to Makkah and then returned back to Yemen after they were displaced by Banu Khuza'a, or Aus and Khazraj, who went to Medina and stayed there, or Banu Quda'a, which is also from Banu Qahtan, and they went all the way to Syria and settled over there. So you can see in this map the different Arab tribes and today's map. And maybe if you want, look at this video on your phone or computer. If you have multiple screens, maybe pause the video where I'm showing you the different tribes. On the other monitor, open the existing countries and try to do mapping yourself. Or if you have one monitor and if you're using Windows operating system, for example, then do a split screen. On one side, pause this video, and on the other side, just look at the existing geography of the Arabian Peninsula. Or maybe have multiple devices like a phone and a computer. Figure out a way so that you can understand, if you're interested, that how did the pre-Islamic Arabia look like. Now, I'm showing you a map without any boundaries or borders in the Arabian Peninsula. So they're going to make it a little bit easier for you to draw the lines yourself. And remember, back in those days, Arabian Peninsula didn't have a lot of kingdoms, but there were some, especially by the Byzantine side up northwest, and some by the northeast, closer to the Sassanids, the Persian Empire, and down south, Yemen was comprising of multiple kingdoms at some point in time. There was a Christian kingdom, Jewish kingdoms, which were a Jewish kingdom of Yemen, which was previously a pagan kingdom. And then you know that after coming of the Abraha, it was a Christian region, and then it became under the Persian rule. And if you go down towards east, where currently we have Oman and Emirat al-Arabiya al-Muttahida, where you have the Dubai, the Sharqa, Ajman, and Abu Dhabi, and all of those states. Part of that country was also part of the Oman kingdom, and we had a kingdom of Bahrain at that time. Think about it. At some point in time, that region where Bahrain is, and that part of Saudi Arabia is where basically was the Sassanid Empire, the Persian Empire. And over the period of time, things shifted. So just wanted to give you some ideas as to how these maps were constantly shifting at different times, but since you were interested specifically in learning about the tribes, that's why I'm sharing these next set of maps with you. So this is how the Arabian Peninsula looks like in the existing times. You can see that where we have Saudi Arabia right in the middle, Saudi Arabia, and then you have United Arab Emirates, and then you have down south in Oman and Yemen, and Saudi Arabia takes the most of the area. And then up north, you can find Jordan in the western side and Iraq on the eastern side. And then you have Bahrain and Qatar right in the Persian Gulf. All of this area that you see shaded in one color, that is what is considered to be Arabian Peninsula, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now you notice that there are parts of Syria which are up north that are not included in this. But remember, back in those days, Syria was not as small as you see in this map. Rather, the Syria, which is where my mouse is currently moving, this Syria, followed by Jordan and Palestine and all of this region, this was all part of the Syrian province of Byzantine Empire. And this is how Asia is connected with Africa, where I'm currently moving my mouse, is where Egypt is. And as you can see down south in the Yemen, where the tip of the Yemen is, on the other side in Africa, that's where the Aksum Empire used to be. So now let me show you the map that will take you 1500 years back. And this is what that map would look like. So as you can see, that we have a Persian Empire that is coming into Iraq. And then we have the Byzantine Empire after that. If you come down in the Arabian Peninsula, you will see that right at the top are the Ghassanites, who are Banu Ghassan. And then we have Banu Lakham with the Lakhmites. And then down south, you will see Azd, Oman, and you can see that part of the United Arab Emirates is in Oman, and the other part is a part of the Persian Sassanid Empire. And then you have Mahra, and then you have Yemen. These are different kingdoms or different regions which were either semi-occupied or were answerable to the Persian Empire. Up north, you can see Albania. And then you can also see some parts of Pakistan, including Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab, going a little bit into India and parts of Kashmir that are in the similar color. Looks like they were under the Persian Emperor. And a lot of these guys used to send armed forces to fight under the Persian flag. And that's how the Persians would recruit not only soldiers from here, but people in other walks of life. And we'll talk about more about this next time when we're talking about how so many Indian tribes settled in Arabia and how did they make their way through and how did they come about that. And right in the middle of Arabian Peninsula, you can see Banu Ghifar, Banu Ghatfan, Banu Hanifa, which is a massive tribe. And this is the tribe that was extremely at the forefront of irtidad, the fitnat al-irtidad, because the fake prophet, the false prophet, Musaylimat al-Kadhab, he was from Banu Hanifa. And then down you will see Banu Ka'ab, Banu Kinda, which traveled in different places and then came back and settled in Hadramaut. And then you see Azd, which are basically a Yemeni origin tribe that came and settled in different parts of Arabia. You see Quraysh over here. And also if you're looking into Africa, you see different areas within Africa, and you see down the Aksum Empire. So this gives you some idea of almost 1500 years ago's Arabian Peninsula. And there are other places that you can see over here as well in this map. Now, let me take you to another map which gives you similar things without the colors. It's the same map, but without those colors that you saw in the previous map. And here is the distribution of tribes and how the tribes were placed at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can see up in the yellow color are the Lakhmites, who are more closer to the Sassanid Empire, and you have Banu Ghassan, or the Ghassanides, who are Christian Arabs, who are more closer to the Byzantine Empire. And then as you're starting to look into this map, you can see Banu Kalb, Banu Tay, Banu Tamim, Banu Hanifa. Now this gives you a little bit more detail. The larger tribes are in bigger fonts and the smaller tribes are in smaller fonts. So you can see that you have Udra, you have Judham, you have Bahra, Salih, Banu Taghlab. So when you are going through the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now this gives you some great insight into that. That when you talk about Banu Ghatfan, you will know exactly where they're coming from and how close they were to the Yathrib, which was the Medina, to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when you hear about Banu Sulaim, you'll know exactly where Banu Sulaim were located. So that's why I'm moving my mouse around the areas that I'm talking about. And then a little bit down south, you will see Banu Kilab. And then if you're coming towards the west by the coastal line, you will see Quraysh, and which are in Mecca. And down a little bit south of Quraysh, southeast of Quraysh, is Banu Thaqif in Ta'if. And Banu Hawazin are very, very close to Banu Thaqif. And then if you started to come down, you will see Banu Kinana, and then you will see Daws. So any companion whose last name is Dawsi, they're actually one of the Yemeni tribe, and that's exactly where they are coming from Daws. And similarly, if you're starting to come down further, you see Al-Azd, Midhal. Similarly, you get to Najran. This was a place where there was once a Christian kingdom, and that's why somebody from here went all the way up north, as you can see over here, to the Byzantine Empire and made a plea to come and fight. And the Byzantine emperor would probably wrote letter to the Pope, who was in Egypt, in Alexandria, and also wrote another letter to a kingdom of the Aksum Empire, which was very close to the Yemen. So it was extremely easy for them to cover the small water opening, and come on the other side and fight and conquer Sana'a. And down south you have Aden. Anyway, so you can see different tribes here, Banu Murad, Banu Harith, Banu Kinda, and some of the others. So this gives you some idea. So when you're going through the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you came to hear about the area that we have Al-Yamama. So this is the Yamama region. Banu Hanifa from Al-Yamama region. This is Qaryatu Dhatul Kal. And then we have some of the other areas like here in the Oman region, and also very close to the Bahrain and Qatar region, we have another one, Al-Qatif. So this gives you, I believe, some idea. And if you put this map and then you put this map, so you can easily see where what tribes were placed. So if I were to move this like this, as you can see, both sides, and you can see easily, very easily, where what tribes were placed. And you can see here in the Persian Gulf opening right here, and part of modern day Persia is basically where Banu Lakham were, the Lakhmites. And then you can see over here around the Kuwait region, you will see the Bakr bin Wa'il, Banu Bakr bin Wa'il were here all the way till Iraq region, where you have Aniza, and then you have Banu Taghlib, Banu Kalb, and then now you're slowly and gradually coming into the Saudi Arabia region, where you have Banu Tay and Banu Tamim, and slowly and gradually this is all Saudi Arabia. And then you have very close to the gap that leads Jordan into Palestine, you see Banu Salih, Banu Bahra, and then you see the Ghassanides in the region up there where you have currently Syria. and Lebanon and Palestine, in that region somewhere, you see the Ghassanites, or Saleh and Bahra. They are basically in this region at the top. And parts of Jordan is where the Judham is, or the northwestern side of Saudi Arabia. So let me know in the comment section below if this was helpful to you and help you understand the tribes and the modern day maps. And let me zoom out of here so that you can easily see the Emirat and Oman region and what tribes were here. Inshallah, we'll learn more about this. But specifically, when we're talking about different regions, I hope you will be able to get back to this one and be able to see where what is placed. Assalamu alaikum. I hope it's a good learning experience for you. Let me know in the comment section below how you like this, and if it was a learning experience for you, and what you learned, and if it opened more windows for you to look into the pre-Islamic Arabia. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum.